Greenberg will lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call, Jackie.
Chair Palmer.
Here.
Vice Chair Davis. Here. Commissioner Greenberg.
Here.
Commissioner Nigel.
Here.
And Zamatia.
Here.
And Commissioners Marshall, Laura, and Pierce have been excused.
Okay, thank you. Item C on our agenda is the approval of minutes from our meeting of September 18, 2013. There are no questions. Motion in a second.
Through Chair, question.
Okay.
Under public comment, the family, the Angela Zink family, so not only did they have an issue about the policy, but they had an issue about a specific tree that was trimmed down. So should the minutes state that as well? And I'm hoping that staff responded to their request, so.
Yes, I responded the very next day to her questions that she had that evening, and tonight Renee is here, and he will go over pretty much basically what my email was to her.
Okay, so I think that the minutes should reflect that change.
Okay.
I move that we approve the minutes with the noted changes.
I second the motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, the minutes will stand with that correction made.
Thank you, Laura.
Item D is unfinished business, and it's an update on our master fee schedule. It's an oral report, probably from...
Good evening, Mr. Chair and members of the Commission. So we're going to give you a quick update on where we are on the fees and charges. It does not appear that any other department is going to have an update to the current fee resolution, and so what my discussions with the finance director have included been a request for us to get a little further through our discussions with the school district on the joint use agreement so that we know precisely which of our fees and charges will be affected by their increases. We have another meeting with the superintendent tomorrow and should have a clearer idea about the implications of the gymnasium fees on the programs that we offer. They may in fact not be subject to our programmatic overall costs, and we might not have to include them in our fee structure. So because there's no other city department that's going to be coming forward with an amendment to their fees and charges, probably won't be taking the fees and charges to the city council until after we have a clearer picture on the joint use agreement. But at this point, we do know that the commission has an interest to address the liquor permit, and we will also be cleaning up in the fee schedule an error from a prior year's collation of the fees for the senior rental fee.
Okay, thank you. Any questions from the commissioner?
I was just going to state thank you, Carrie, for the report. And again, what is your title?
Interim Community Services
Okay,
Director.
perfect.
Who are you?
Interim. Any other questions from the commission? Okay, thank you. Do we have any communications?
You handed those out, Jackie? Okay, so at your seat tonight is a letter that everyone received, and it's from the Church of Christ. I believe that they're in Burlingame, but I think there's some Bruno residents that are in the congregation, and they've invited us all to a service that they're having this weekend at Shoreline Amphitheater in honor of Aid for Humanity and their mission. So you all have that.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Danielle. My favorite part of our meeting, public comment, and I'll take that as a no.
Is it somebody? Oh, no.
Item G, new business, end of year aquatics report. Danielle?
Good evening. So Jenny Tucker is not here tonight. She's in her second to last semester of grad school, so she has class on Wednesday nights. So I told her I would give you the report. We sent that to you, so the information in there gives you 3 years of the participation from the last few years. This year, as you can see, has increased by a little bit over 100 kids or participants for the swim lessons. So it was a very successful season. We did stay open a month longer for the month of September for water aerobics, rec swim on the weekends, and lap swim. As you see the numbers here, lap swims average was 3 people per day. It was not very well attended. However, the water aerobics was about 25 people per day, so that was very well attended. Unfortunately, the weather was very strange in September, where we even had a rainy day, and so that day, of course, we had 0 people, but the week before, it was a hot day, a hot weekend, and we had capacity one of those days. So it just kind of varies on the weather. So we had a very safe summer, no accidents, no injuries to speak of, and we had 18 youths from 12 to 15 who volunteered for our program this year. And then, of course, we have our 25 to 27 staff members who are teenage, high school, and college age who worked for us all summer. And this year, we'll be looking, in the next couple of months, we'll be working with Carrie and Jenny to look at ways to extend the season permanently, if that's what the interest is of the community and of the council. So we will be looking at that, and we'll be, of course, bringing that back to you before we present it to council. So we're going to look at some options of how we can do that.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. Questions from the commission?
Through the chair. So when you, considering extending it, would it be extended perhaps to October, which is our most beautiful weather around here?
We don't even have an idea of if we're going to do it year-round or if we're going to do it 8 months. We haven't even started the discussions on that, but yes, we'll look at lots of different options and bring those different options to both you and the council.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay, thanks for that, Danielle. And thank Jenny for us too, okay? Next, under item G2, it's an oral report on our tree management program, and Renee Walsh is here tonight.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman and Park Commissioners. I'm Renee Walsh, Park Supervisor and Certified Arborist, and I am here to present you tonight the Serious and Bruno Tree Management Program. Since 2005, the National Arbor Day Foundation has annually recognized the Serious and Bruno with the distinction of Tree City USA. To receive recognition, cities must meet 4 standards. A specific board or department has been established for the care and maintenance of trees. A tree care ordinance has been adopted by the City Council. A community forestry program is in place, and an Arbor Day proclamation is awarded by the City Council and an observance held each year. The city performed a tree inventory and assessment in 2010. 6,520 city-owned trees were inventoried. The following information was collected for each tree: location, botanical and common name, diameter range, height range, canopy range, condition, which could be good, fair, poor, or dead, utilities present, recommended maintenance, trimming or removal priority, which could be immediate or routine. Maintenance of city-owned trees. The city maintains city-owned trees on a rotating 4-year cycle. For the current fiscal year, $100,000 has been allocated by the City Council for the maintenance and removal of city-owned trees. Heritage trees. Chapter 8.25 of the city's municipal code defines a heritage tree as any native bay, buckeye, oak, redwood, or pine tree that has a diameter of 6 inches or more. Any tree or stand of trees designated by resolution of the City Council to be of special historical value or significant community benefit. A stand of trees, the nature of which makes each dependent on the other for survival, or any other tree with a trunk diameter of 10 inches or more. Heritage tree pruning or removal on private property. A permit is required when pruning a tree and removing up to 1/4 of the crown or existing foliage of the tree, or up to 1/4 of the root system. Removal of a heritage tree requires a permit. A permit is issued only when a tree meets the following conditions. The tree is structurally unsafe or diseased and is a danger to the community, and/or the tree is healthy but is causing structural damage to structures, foundations, underground utilities, or sidewalks. Heritage tree removal process. Step 1. Resident contacts city arborist to request a tree inspection. Step 2. If city arborist deem tree unsafe or diseased, a tree removal permit is granted. Step 3. Resident is issued a tree removal permit upon payment of the $75 inspection and $105 removal fees. The permit states the required number of replacement trees, and the city provides a list of recommended trees. Step 4. Resident removes the tree and plants the required number of replacement trees. Additional information regarding public and privately owned trees, please contact the Community Services Department, Parks Division with 3 questions or concerns at 650-616-7193. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Renee. Thank you for that report. Questions from the commission?
Through the chair.
Commissioner
So,
Davis?
In removing a tree, there's a requirement that the tree is structurally unsafe or diseased, and that's determined by the arborist. But what about a tree that is healthy but causing structural damage or structure foundation issues? Who determines that?
It will be also the arborist, the one
Also
who
the
makes the
arborist?
decision.
But is the arborist a structural engineer? I mean, in the example of the complaint from the family, it could very be that the customer says, hey, you know, this tree is causing some damage, look at it's lifting up cement, but really is it a structural issue? And I think that, I guess I question whether or not an arborist has the authority to make that decision. So that leads me to the next question, that the tree removal process, step 2 should really be the arborist to deem whether the tree is safe or not safe based on the condition of the tree. But on any structural should be an issue, a contractor, a structural engineer, somebody else that can provide.
Commissioner Davis and members of the commission, there are a couple of things that happen in the event of a structural concern. The first is the arborist looks at the tree to see if root pruning can be completed in order to still preserve the tree but to mitigate the underlying structural problems that it's creating. If the arborist determines from his expertise, his tree expertise, that root pruning is not an alternative, then we would work with engineering. We would not, or maybe even building, to ensure that we had the expertise. Your point's well made. We know about trees. We don't always know about structures and concrete and that sort of thing.
Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
I have a question. Well, I have a concern. So I
Commissioner Zamatin?
had a resident come to me about a tree that they have in their yard. They're new to the San Bruno. Same kind of question as Laura. They're having some uprooting of their cement from the trees. She's actually had her father trip over one of the cement uproots. And she's working with the city right now.
And the city has acknowledged that it's their tree, but she's having some issues because they're not acknowledging that they'll take out the tree. They don't mind having a tree in front of their house. They're just worried about, the city has required them they have to pull up their own cement, I guess, so the arborists can get under to look at it, which they may do, I guess, later on. But once they do that and the city says, sorry, we can't do anything, because the tree's healthy, it's not a diseased tree or anything like that. I think they're just concerned that they're going to put cement back, same thing's going to happen, and they're a little more concerned about the dangerous aspect of somebody walking down the street or walking in their driveway, and I think their walkway is broken up too, so they're concerned about, just putting new cement down. You could easily do that, but then, trees are going to uproot it again, then what happens? So, I don't know if there's much you can do, but they're being asked to do a lot of things, but then the city is saying, well, we might not be able to do anything for you guys. Is it just not possible that they just take out the tree and then they can just put a new tree? Or, because it will get uprooted again, I would think, if they put new cement.
Yeah. Sometimes what happens when a situation like that is taking place, we are called to take a look at what's going on, where we make an evaluation, and somebody, it could be a contractor that needs to remove the concrete, and when that happens, we can see the extent of the root system that is causing the problem, and at that time, we make the decision whether some root pruning can correct the problem, or if the root pruning is going to be detrimental to the tree because of the extent of the root system under the concrete area. At that time, we make the decision of removing the tree and planting a new one.
So this resident is required to do all that on their own. So they're couldn't put the money out to get that all ready, and then if you guys decide that the tree's not going to come out, they just have to cement it back up and then wait for it to happen again, because unfortunately it does keep happening. I'm just concerned about what happens. Like, I know tree situation that happened to my parents in Millbrae, and I'm not saying it happened here, but the same thing would keep happening. They were required to keep cementing it up, and then it would keep breaking up because the roots, even if you prune them, the roots keep coming. And these big trees. So I'm just wondering what the city can do, because I'm sure there's a lot of this issue. It's not just them, but I think there's got to be something to.
If I may, in the event where we would have a property owner remove hardscape or some sort of structurally installed amenity, we would ensure through the inspection program that whatever root system was causing the damage was addressed. We would ensure that the adequate pruning to that root was performed before the concrete was repoured or the improvement reinstalled. And if we can get the specific property address from you, we will certainly look back at what the circumstances are.
I'll get it for you. Okay, thank you.
And I have a question relative to this. It obviously would make a difference where the tree is physically located too, right? Whether it's on city property or whether or not it's on
It's in their front yard,
on
like
the
right
homeowner property.
But it is a city tree.
Okay.
It is on their property, but it's a city tree.
Yeah. Okay. Any other questions from the commission?
Through the chair. I'd like to compliment Renee and his staff. This is a very comprehensive and concise report. Well done.
Thank you, Renee.
Thank you, Dave.
Anything else? Okay. Item H1, under staff reports, upcoming special events. It's an oral report.
So this is just a reminder for all the upcoming events that we're going to have. I see Lori has her pen ready to go, so I'll go a little slow for you. So October 30th is the Goblin Grotto from 5:30 to 6:15, and then 6:45 to 7:30. And tickets are still available, but we will not be making them available at the door. So please make sure you get your tickets ahead of time, and we do welcome anyone to come out and help out if you'd like. Then, of course, we have the October 31st Halloween parade at Tanforan, and that will be the first parade, I believe, is at 3:30. It is a minimum school day that day, so there will be lots of kids there, I'm sure. We would like to invite you as well to come and help judge. If you would like to, come hand out judging cards to the children who have the best costumes. So that starts at 3:30, so if you get there a little bit early. The tree lighting, well, let's go back to, the Holiday Boutique is on November 30th. It's a Saturday of Thanksgiving. And then there's the tree lighting, which will be the first Thursday in December, which is December 5th. And then we are going to have visits with Santa there's 3 days of visits with Santa, where Santa will come to your house and visit with your children, hand out gifts if you'd like at your house. So there are a few slots left for that, but not many, so come down quick and get those. And then winter camp is the 2 weeks in December that the schools are off on holiday break, and there's still room for that. And then just a little teaser that the Centennial Kickoff will begin in December for the year-long celebration of San Bruno being 100. We do not have any exact details for that yet, but I'm just giving you a little teaser to be on the lookout for some really exciting events to celebrate the 100 years of San Bruno.
Okay, thanks, Danielle. That's a lot of stuff there. Item H.
Can I?
I'm sorry.
Can I comment on that?
Yeah.
Since you brought up the Centennial Celebrate Kickoff, where can residents who may have history, photos, ideas, all sorts of information, who can they direct all that to?
I think that the history stuff should go directly to John Alita at the library. He's kind of the historian of the Centennial Committee, so.
And is staff looking for ideas for parties, kickoff, events, kind of celebration?
In fact, we are very much so. So I'm serving as the staff chair for the internal Centennial delivery. And we have had an internal staff meeting. There are a list of names that have been submitted to the city manager for her to talk with the city council with about convening a citizens group sometime in the month of October to solicit input and ideas and to share with them what city staff has come up with. My hope is to get before the city council at either the first or the second meeting in November with a full presentation of what the year-long festivities will include so that we can begin to showcase those for the community.
Perfect. Thank you, Carrie.
That's a great question.
In the meantime, if people have questions about the Centennial, they're more than welcome to call me directly at 650-616-7002, and my name is Carrie Burns.
Perfect. Thank you.
Any other questions, comments from the commission? Okay, thanks. Item H1B, strategy for landscaping front of the swimming pool.
Is that me too? At the last meeting, we had talked about how the front of the pool looks and some ideas of how we can make it look nicer. And so one of the things that Carrie and I spoke about after the meeting was approaching the beautification task force and hopefully making that a Operation Clean Sweep project, because that's when we have lots of people in the park looking for activities and projects to do. So we will be meeting with that group at some point in the next month or so, just to present it to see if that's something that's interest to them. Our next meeting, I think, is sometime in December 2nd or 3rd. So I'm hoping that we'll have an answer from them by then to report back to you.
Okay, thanks. Any questions, comments from the commission?
I think that's a great idea.
Yeah, I agree. I think that's a really good idea.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Mr. Chairman, if I may I give the audience and the commission John Alita's phone number also back to the Centennial item, just in case you'd like to
that's a good
contact
idea.
him.
Excellent.
So John Alita is our city librarian and serves as the Assistant Community Services Director, and he can be reached at area code 650-616-7017. Again, 616-7017. Thank you.
Okay, yeah, that's a good idea. Thank you. Okay, any reports from the commissioners? Commissioner Nigel?
For the viewing audience, I represent the Commission on the Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. And next October 27th, Sunday, our committee will be having an information table at the farmers market that's from 10 a.m. till 2 p.m. And we encourage you to come down. We have a lot of information, and we'd like to talk with you. Also, there is a vacancy on the committee, and we're looking for someone to actively participate on our committee. And if you're interested, call City Hall and speak with the city clerk. I do not have that number, but I know it starts with 616.
Through the chair?
Yeah, Commissioner Greenberg?
Okay, first of all, I have a question. I wanted to find out the status of our youth rep. Do you know when the applicants are completed and when they'll be interviewed and when we'll have a rep on our commission?
Mr. Chairman and members of the commission, Councilmember Greenberg, or Commissioner Greenberg, I do know that the city clerk has advertised for the position. I know that she has gotten, I want to say, 2 applications, and she is bundling those for the city council's consideration along with a bundle of other names for other committees, boards, and commissions. I don't have for you a specific date when she intends on taking that, but I will find that out and I will send you all an email.
Okay, thank you. And Commissioner Greenberg?
And 2 other items. There was an amazing event at our rec center in the gym, hosted by this Chamber of Commerce, and I just want to give kudos to everyone who did it. And I remember Kirsten Pinoki was in charge, and also, I forget who else, I'm sure Danielle will remind me, but it was the Taste of San Bruno, and everybody in San Bruno, the restaurants, well, the main restaurants or anybody that participates, it was all you could eat on these little baby plates, and yes, we ate a million things off it, so it was incredibly amazing. They brought their best taste of San Bruno there. It's a wonderful event, so if anybody wants to attend it every year, it's usually in October, and it's at the rec center. So the chamber, I give them kudos for that event. That was wonderful.
Excellent.
And you had one other thing.
And one other thing, Tom Lara is one of our commissioners, and he and his wife are at home dealing with medical issues, so, and I know everybody asks about them, but believe it or not, they ask about everybody in the city, and they're praying for everybody. So I just want to let you know that Tom and Connie Lara, you're in our thoughts, our hearts, and we're praying for you. So thank you.
Okay, thank you. Any other commissioner reports? Item I, agenda building. Anything from the commission? Anything from staff?
We may bring back for the commission's consideration the Adopt a Park program at your November meeting. We know that the commission saw it a few months back, and we went back and we looked at it in the light of some of the other programs that cities have also put together, and we think maybe we have some additional items that we'd like you to take into consideration before we present it to the city council. So we may present that to you in November as well.
Fantastic, thank you. Any other agenda items? No? Good.
And Mr. Chairman, I just misspoke. Actually, it will be your hybrid meeting. Maybe I should call it that. Your November-December meeting. So that will be December 5th that we will be returning to you.
Okay. Thank you. Anything else? That was simple. Commissioner Greenberg?
Through the chair. So since we won't be meeting till December, should we go over the holiday? I know we're having the holiday tree lighting ceremony Thursday, December 5th. I know it's kind of early to mention it, but
Our meeting is Wednesday,
Yeah.
December 4th.
yes. So the Thursday, just for anyone, it's in the activity guide, which is beautiful, and it's on the back. So if anybody's interested in anything for the holidays, refer to this. That's it.
Yeah. Okay. There being no further business, our meeting is adjourned for this evening.